Alright, just returned from 2 weeks vacation. Did a quick walkthrough just to make sure everything was okay last night when we got home. Letting the chickens out now, getting ready for a zone 1 routine. Thought I'd share a video of what that looks like here. By zone 1 routine, I mean what we do at least twice a day. Going down, letting the chickens and the ducks out, feeding them and the fish. Looking for any crops that need to be harvested that day. Bringing those inside. Possibly emptying the compost if it needs. I'll show you our system for that too. We have a 2-bucket system. Just what we use. It's become modified over the years. It's a real easy way to do it. We keep this one small bucket inside that gets full every other day or so. And we revat it and dump it in a covered bucket out here. And then we take it down to the compost when that's full about once a month. At that time, the chicken and the duck straw needs to be changed. And it's a good time to turn the whole composting system. Okay, we'll go let everybody out and have a look at all these. We'll have a look at these compost buckets first. First, we'll look at the yard. Sorghum. Self-seeding from last year. That's taller than our deck. There's quite a bit of that around the yard as well. The pear trees all have some pears on them. Quite a few figs this year. Asian pears, apples. All nice to come back to. It's after all the fruits and berries already harvested, consumed, or stored. So I'm going to show you the compost. So we keep a lid on this. Already made gross looking. But that's what goes out to the compost pile when it's full. Inside we use this bucket for the daily compost. Saving our eggshells to feed back to the chickens. I crumble it up in their feed, that gives them the calcium. Or use it in the garden. So we come down these steps every morning, bringing the compost if needed. It's on the way. This is what we come back to. The chickens have been pecking on it, looks like. It's normally a nice neat pile. Over here we have a red wiggler compost. See the worms in that on the coffee grounds that are in there. Anywhere we dig, I'm sure. That's a 2-bin system. This is the top bin. This is the bottom bin. The bottom one's ready to be harvested. All the worms are making their way into the top one. At that point, we'll dry this out and get the remaining worms and eggs we can out of it, and add them back to this one. Put it on top. Start feeding. This compost as well. If I dug in it, you can see all the worms in it. Well, might as well have a look. So they're in this compost, this large compost pile. My hand for perspective, I guess. It's right filled with worms. Do the compost when we need to. This is the aquaponic greenhouse. The tilapia and a few goldfish. This is a closed loop system. This is the sump at the bottom of the system. It comes back up into the tank. Excuse me, and recirculates through it. So a lot going on right now. We have an oversupply of strawberry runners coming off the bed. I need to plant those. That's some turmeric. The ducks are down below here. Alright. Chickens up top. Hi, ladies.
pump out so you can see them better.
Beaver pump. These are the tilapia.
White Nile tilapia. Started with 150, almost 10 years ago now. But their solid waste, their poop, goes in the swirl filter. So all that water swirls around the outside, the heavy solids drop to the bottom, which I collect with that pipe in the bottom, that standpipe in the bottom. The ammonia heavy water goes through the system. This is all just water lettuce and floating rafts we use on our ponds outdoors to feed the chickens, to feed the ducks, and to keep the water off, keep them from turning green. And that also eats up the nutrients from the duck waste in the pond, helps with that. But it flows from that table to this table in this ebb and flow table. This has a bell siphon in it. It's too buried to show you, but that's the top of it. So the water ebbs and flows in this all day long. It's got the strawberries and the turmeric in it right now. But anyway, it just has a gravel in it. This gravel has two types of bacteria on it. First type eats the ammonia-filled water, turns it into a nitrite. Nitrate, I'm going to have these backwards, it's been a little while, which is still poisonous to plants. And the next one eats the nitrate, turning into nitrite. Like I said, that might be backwards, which is the most soluble form of nitrogen for plants. There's also red wigglers in that bed as well. They eat the remaining roots when we pull plants out or move things around, turning that into worm compost, feeding the plants as well. And I've got some bossy animals right now. Let me get some. So you got some. Get out of their house. Alright, everybody's fed. Let's go see if we can find some food. You guys want to go in the garden? I thought you probably missed it. So use the ducks for insects. They love snails. They love to eat the insects more than the vegetation. They do get some vegetation, but we can probably afford to lose that. Going to work right away. They'll let me know when they want to leave. So just cutting back. I do see lots of tomatoes around. Saw some green beans over here, maybe some strawberries here. Some cucumbers. Some green beans, well, yellow beans. A bunch of those. Some more tomatoes. Lots of cherry tomatoes. A few more beets that are ready. I must have missed. Some figs just for fun. It's a potted variety that I grow. All these beans that I'm walking through and destroying are just cowpeas. Food for the garden. Some more maters. Oh, somebody got that one. All kinds of cherry tomatoes. These are just sweet as. Squash plant gave up. stevia. More cherry tomatoes. Replanting themselves for next year. So there's some trombosinos I missed in here, so we'll store these. Taking over my strawberry bed. These tomatoes went too far. Chickens. One for us. Shout out some young figs here. Come on, get out of the compost. Go do your job. These autumn olives are just loaded. This autumn olive is just loaded with berries this year. For those that are going to start yelling, it's invasive. Yes, I know. This is an amber. Some that are soft. These are sterile. But when they, like all autumn olives, or gummies, Elaeagnus, I believe. They're only good when they get super ripe. Best in like jellies or mixed in with other berries. But these seeds are sterile and don't spread. And they're good. Ooh, tartness. A bunch of tartness. Not yet. So Chan's looking great. Apple tree's got some nice apples on it. Some nice pears. Lots of squash around. Tomatoes. Yellow raspberries. Red raspberries. The tomato plant and the chicken's tomato here, looks like. And the amaranth have taken over the pathway. Yum. So pockets of that are just hidden everywhere. Yellow raspberries, red raspberries, elderberries, blackberries, figs, root crops like Jerusalem artichokes, apples, pears, Asian pears, hazelnuts, little patches of sorghum, looks pretty, feeds the birds. Lots of pollinators, beneficial insect attracting plants and flowers, See some sorghum, or not, I'm sorry, sochan, that's all over the place. And on and on. Oh, I missed some. Look at that. Oh, yum. Come back for those. Save those for Melinda probably. We've been away for 2 weeks and things were a little overgrown when we left. So I wouldn't expect it to be less overgrown. So I gotta get back here and cut some things back, but there's just so much mixed within this. There's the irises that come in the spring, the black-eyed Susans, the lilies, a bunch of amaranth, the sedums coming in later on, the blackberries that we've harvested a bunch off of already. Not hyacinth, I'm drawing a blank on that one. This is a South American squash that's climbing this fig tree here. The apple tree in the back. There's Asian pear that's loaded here next to it. With mint ground cover, amaranth. Looks like we have okra as well. This one got a little big and woody. That's my favorite way to eat it. Fresh out of the garden. And this one, it's actually not that woody. This gets bigger than this it is. Here's some Tulsi basil mixed in. This is just one small guild, overgrown guild, mixed in amongst many. As we walk through here, not gumi, goji berries, strawberries down below it, more Tulsi basil and mint. This is an apple mint. That was a yellow clover that's gone to seed. Bee balm that's died back. A little bit left there. River just planted this year. There's blue moon, hacksap. What do they call them? Honeyberry, blue moon honeyberry. It's also called a hacksap. More sedums in the back and purple basil. Goji berries, gumi berries, josta berries. And king cherries coming up, a young one. The birds found all the ripe elderberries. There's some potatoes showing as I walk by. There's those taters. Just happened to walk by and see those. Got a little patch there. I know there's some big ones in the back there. It's a pear tree, a kefir pear tree. Black raspberries, gumi berry, elderberry. More potatoes down front. It's another apple tree, forget the name of that one there. So this is on the outskirts on this side. We were just looking at that one with the Asian pears, the apples, the figs. So it looks like chaos, and it hasn't been touched in 2 weeks. There was a lot of hand before that, so it is a little bit of chaos. Whatever we're mixed in, this is just one small batch I harvested because they were sticking up above the ground. But there's food everywhere if we were to zoom in and look at all these guilds. See the butterflies fluttering across. I just blurred that. And there's probably some yellow raspberries left. There's some more elderberries. Yellow raspberries. Growing here in the shade, which is kind of impressive. We don't get a lot, but there's some. The silverberry will be the first one of the year. Lots of videos of that. There's lots of figs here in this fig tree. Sochan. Back to the side of this autumn olive here. You down there eating berries, are you, Sarah? So as it fixes nitrogen, it also brings the chickens and the ducks underneath it to have a berry snack. Eat the insects while they're there. Fertilize before they leave. The wineberry's completely done. A couple of gold rush apples. It's a Nanking cherry behind it. There's horseradish down below it. Jerusalem artichokes. Spearmint. Chastaberry. Grapes. And on and on. Young pawpaw, blueberry patch. Stinging nettles. Some more Nanking cherry, butterfly bush. This is the lower pond. It's got a nice waterfall. The water lettuce we started in the greenhouse we saw. It goes into a 55-gallon drum in the bottom here. That's how we keep it clean. The ducks use this most every day, so they're pooping in it. All that nutrient and sunlight we have to contend with. So the water lettuce reproduces and covers it, feeding the ducks. It allows the water to stay clear. Let me see if I can show you some. Picking up the clean water off the top into the sump area to be pumped to the top of the waterfall. Adding oxygen as it cascades down it. All the nutrient heavy sediment falls to the bottom. We agitate that a couple times a year and water the gardens with it. Excuse me. Taking only a third at a time and refilling it, so as not to hurt the frogs, the insects, the larvae, the spiders, whatever might be in it. Let's just walk back up through. Another pawpaw over there. Hi, Patty. What are you doing? What are you guys doing, huh? Oh, I see. You got a blackberry stash back there. More red raspberries. Showed this guild quite often. We're getting old now, but I can't think of the name of the white flower. And the Sochan, and the Jerusalem artichoke starting, the horseradish, sedums, some kale in it, some strawberries down underneath, the apple tree, the gummy berry nitrogen fixer next to it, then the fig, and the silverberry we saw. Handful of good looking apples this year. Tuck, 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 tuck. Hi, Lucy. Where's that angel? Hi, Angel. Hi, kitten. Everybody's back, huh? Is that kitten being mean to you, Angel? You alright, Speedy? You not feeling good?